We've got some major new rumors for the upcoming Godzilla X Kong New Empire film that reveals how much Godzilla is in the film and actually claims that he's not in it very much. But we also have some significant plot details about the film, as well as details about the film's main villain, that orangutan creature that has been shown in the trailers as well as the teasers, that is referred to as the Scar King in a number of toys. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. With that out of the way, let's get into this here. I wrote this over at thatparkplace.com. Headline reads, New Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire rumors claim Godzilla's role is fairly minor and reveal key information about the main villain. Indeed, they do. So before we get into the actual rumors, let's kind of give you a brief update on what we know officially from the film. This is part of the Legendary's MonsterVerse films that began with Godzilla back in 2014 and continued in Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. According to Legendary's website, the film, quote, follows up the explosive showdown with an all-new cinematic adventure pitting the almighty Kong and the fearsome Godzilla against a colossal undiscovered threat hidden within our world, challenging their very existence and our own. The epic new film will delve further into the histories of these titans, their origins, and the mysteries of Skull Island and beyond, while uncovering the mythic battle that helped forge these extraordinary beings and tied them to humankind forever. So this is where we get into the rumors here. We got this from Scooper Divinity Seeker over on X. This is what he shared about the film. He said, Dan Stevens is our new lead. That's the actor. His character name is Trapper. He's friendly with Kong, and he kills it in this role. I don't think that's really anything new. That's on the IMDb page. We know what his name is, and I think the trailers kind of show that he is friendly with Kong. As far as him killing it in the role, I don't really think that provides us any real details at all, and appears to be just kind of speculative, opinion-based. We'll have to find out if that is indeed true when we see it. The next piece of this scoop is indeed some plot information that we get here. Doesn't appear to be speculative or opinion. He says the main villain is the first ever Titan and is an ice type Titan. He caused the Ice Age. I think we can assume maybe that is the orangutan creature or someone attached to the orangutan creature, as we will learn from further information from a different source here. He also claims that Mothra returns in this film. I don't think we've seen Mothra since the first Godzilla film. Maybe we saw in Godzilla King of the Monsters. I'm not really sure, but Mothra hasn't been seen in quite a bit. Divinity Scooper then followed it up with another post saying there is an epic zero gravity fight scene at the end of the movie due to the ancestors' powers. He also goes on and says Godzilla's role is fairly minor again, but his lore is central to the story. He defeated the first Titan eons ago, and it's Kong who tries to set everyone in motion. He also says the film is very campy. So that is the information from Divinity Seeker. I'm not really happy about Godzilla's role being fairly minor. I feel like if you're going to have him in the headline, you would think he would be playing a significant role in the film. But that is what Divinity Seeker is saying. We'll see if it ends up being true. But the idea that Godzilla's role in the film is reduced follows up on reports from test screeners that claimed as much. We had this from Ian Cassidy, where a person named Santa Anna Dude shared his review of the film after test screening. Santa Ana Dude said, I enjoyed every aspect of Kong's plot, but was very annoyed that Godzilla was sidelined once more. I feel Wingard doesn't treat Goji with the same respect as Kong, yet you'll get a kaiju fight every 20 minutes, and half of those fights are in daytime. The film is as wacky as a Showa Godzilla film and heavy on the sci-fi, very much entertaining. So the idea that Godzilla's role is being reduced, we've seen this before. This isn't specifically new from Divinity Seeker. We did get a lot more information from Ian Cassidy over on X as well. He appears to have gotten a ton of plot details from someone who's seen a test screening or works on the film. He says the story kicks off with a mysterious signal coming from the hollow earth. Gia hears it and starts having nightmares, and Godzilla hears it and starts his journey to evolve because he knows what it means. This journey includes fighting an arachnid titan in Rome, draining a nuclear power plant in France, and then fighting an unspecified titan in an iceberg lair in Greenland. You can see here, this is what the scoop said he has. And then obviously he then goes into this kind of like icy cocoon sequence and then bursts forth with new powers and abilities. And he's now pink. From there, Godzilla ends up in some kind of, like I said, ends up in some kind of ice cocoon. He's able to break free, and then he hears Kong calling to him. Godzilla assumes Kong is challenging him and immediately attacks him once he locates him. This is what Cassidy says. He says, to be more specific, Kong calls him. Godzilla comes, but he's too angry and doesn't care, so he assumes Kong was challenging him. He attacks immediately. Kong gives up and uppercuts Gojira before Gojira pins Kong and is about to blast him dead before Mothra intervenes. So another confirmation that Mothra is indeed in this film. Eventually, the two put aside their rivalry and focus on the Scar King, which again is this giant orange orangutan that we've seen in the trailers and teasers. Apparently, he has tamed another Titan named Shimo, which has ice type powers and created the original Ice Age. And the Scar King is trying to create another Ice Age. So, this is what Cassidy says. As for the rest, the movie ends when Godzilla, Kong, and the now freed Shimo turn on and kill Scar King, and Godzilla fires a blast of atomic breath into the sky to eradicate the Shimo-created Ice Age. And Mothra's role is that of support in the final battle. Before that, she saves Kong from Godzilla and makes Godzilla team up with Kong. She keeps the Scar army off of the boys as they take care of business versus their respecting opponents. She goes around webbing apes up and using her spores. So the Scar King obviously has an army of other kind of orangutan ape-like titans. Not only do Kong and Godzilla get aid from Mothra, but they also receive aid from Suko, which I believe is the baby ape that was shown in the most recent trailer. Suko follows Kong and Godzilla and gives Kong his axe. Kong uses the axe to break Shimo's control device. The control device was jarred free during a fight between Godzilla and Scar. With Shimo free, Kong pins down Scar and Shimo freezes him. Kong then smashes him into the ground where he shatters. So this is what Cassidy says. And Suko has a part to play in that he follows them and brings Kong his axe, which he uses to smash the Shimo control device that was jarred free after Godzilla beats up Scar and breaks his whip. Scar and Kong scramble after it, where Kong then gets his axe and smashes it, the control shard. Then Kong holds Scar pinned while Shimo freezes him. Kong then drops him to the ground where he shatters and they all roar. Suko also sets off a number of booby traps to aid Godzilla and Kong in their battle against Scar. And then Cassie also details that there's the Titan Tiamat is the reason why Godzilla decided to evolve. And it appears the film sets up a showdown between the two in the future. This was kind of confusing part to me. Most of this guy's scoops were all out of order, and I was trying to piece them together as best as I could based on how he was putting them out there. But he also wrote this. I've heard this as well, and I confirm its legitimacy. A few more points I would add. Tiamat is a reason why Godzilla evolves. Suko sets off booby traps to help Kong fight Scar's goons. After the final battle, Kong and Suko ride Shimo back to the ape village where Kong is declared king. The last shot of Godzilla we see in the film is him falling asleep in Rome. So again, this is where it gets a little bit confusing because he provides some details about Tiamat. It says the dispute between Godzilla and Tiamat appears to be a territorial one, with Tiamat fighting to defend to keep her territory. She apparently took over a lair that Godzilla had been driven from by the Scar King or some other ancient ape titan in the past. Godzilla shows up and gives her the business, believing he's going to be fighting the ancient ape. So I don't know if this happens at the beginning of the film or what. It's kind of confusing. But he says Godzilla came prepared to face off an old enemy, some form of ancient Kong or similar ape titan who had driven him out of that lair when he was an adolescent. So it was a fair battle. Now that he won, she had to find a new home, referring to Tiamat. Suddenly, he's at her new home and he's killing her. I really hope the context is that she was stirring up trouble because, as it stands, this just seems like he's being an anti hero. We've also got a number of toy leaks kind of showing off what the kaiju look like. Obviously, there's Shimo right there, bottom left. And then you can see the Scar Titan is right there, kind of in the middle. Hard to see here looking at it, but if you go to the site, you can blow the picture up and take a look at it, which I'll provide the link in the description above. So that is basically the gist of the rumors and plot details we have for Godzilla X Kong New Empire. It arrives in theaters on April 12, 2024. Let me know what you make of these plot details in the comments below.